Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings. Now you may remember a couple of weeks ago I did a review of various bits of writing paper. Well, thanks to so many of you who suggested new refills for my little writing case, as a result I have some more paper to talk about. Isn't that fun? Now, before anything else, I hope you're impressed. I actually got round today to changing the old manky blotting paper and restoring it with new blotting paper. Isn't that lovely? Right, before I continue, I have to just mention this. For those of you in America, unless you ordered it specially from the UK, you haven't been able to read Death Comes Hot. So far, everybody has said it's brilliant. Even Publishers Weekly, who says dooby-dooby-doo, and then fans of offbeat Tudor mysteries will clamour for more. And then Kirkus Reviews said plenty of historical detail, loads of twists and turns, a hilarious tale of criminal ineptitude. If that doesn't persuade you to go and put your order in now, I don't know what will. And so, thanks to all of you who wrote in with ideas for different types of notepaper. And I have to thank enormously those delightful people at Basildon Bond who were able to send me a notebook that actually fits my little writing case. But not only that, when I mentioned that I would be doing a review of writing papers, they sent me this and these. They sent me envelopes and some gorgeous looking writing paper. So without mucking about any further, let's see how they work. First, we'll try the Basildon Bond. This is paper I've always rather liked. I've used it for donkey's years. It was the standard go-to paper when I was a youngster, when I was writing letters to my brother in New Zealand. Now, what are we going to do here? I think we'll use a little bit of a broad nib first and see how that goes. Because this is about the toughest Now, I have to say, I thought Basildon Bond was a cheapish, quite nice paper, but nothing too impressive. But look at that. That I find astonishing. There is absolutely no feathering on any of those nibs that I can see. Well, I tell a lie. Let's just have a look here. There is slight breakups of the outline on the Twisby, but it's more, I think, because of the texture of the paper than because it's actually feathering. And that's a very wet nib, 1.1mm stub. This double broad, slight feathering perhaps over the A, but I would have no hesitation in using this. The Conway Stewart broad is absolutely perfect as far as I can see. And even the Visconti, which chucks out a huge amount of ink. There is no feathering whatsoever. Okay, that's one side. What's the other bit like? There is a bit of shadow, but to be absolutely honest, I'd be happy to write on that. let's just check this. I think that is stunningly good. And the paper has got, see if I can demonstrate this. You can see here the B, the B, the B. It has a watermark, which I think just looks right for correspondence paper. So that, for me, gets a big thumbs up. I love that. But now, if you're going to say that that's perfect for me to take in my little writing case, what about some genuine correspondence paper? This looks, I'm going to have to get a knife, I think, absolutely wonderful. A writing paper of exceptional quality, it says. Well, if it's anything like the Basildon Bond, it will be, because that was stunning. Well, I can certainly confirm the plastic they use is very effective. So, we have 3 candlesticks, 50 sheets, white paper. Oh, it's white laid paper with blotting sheet. Always good to know. Hamelin paper brands. It's Hamelin who owns this and Basildon Bond. If I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. Right. So, Hamelin. Let's have a look and see what it's like on the inside. Very good solid cover, which is nice. This, I assume, is the blotting paper. And then we have the writing paper itself. Now, this looks exceptionally pleasant. It doesn't have the precise watermark. Instead, it's got... Now, let's just see if I can demonstrate this a bit. It has the lines going horizontally and vertically, as you can see, which are just visible to the naked eye. Actually, when you look at this paper, you can see the lines going across as a series, almost like ripples in the sand at the seaside. Apologise for this, just trying to get the lamp back into position. One thing I should say is I always do all of my ink tests and so on under the same daylight lamp, because I think it makes life a lot easier for you to see what's going on. So, let's try this writing test. Now, to me, that is wonderful. Feels absolutely superb. And having blotting paper supplied does make life that little bit easier. Now, let's just pull this off. And as you can see, there is a certain amount of shadowing. But if I was writing on it, I don't think the shadowing would have any impact whatsoever. So you can write on this using both sides without an issue. Because as you can see, it's unnoticeable. Even though that was a strong black ink, it's unnoticeable, it doesn't come through. In terms of feathering, exactly the same, oddly enough, as the result on the Basildon Bond. There is a slight amount of sort of cutout. It's not feathering, it's where there's so much texture in the paper that the nib just skips slightly over. but no feathering whatsoever. This looks, well, as far as I'm concerned, as it stands right now, I have no shadow of doubt that Three Candlesticks is the paper for me. And what a bombshell that is. Now, I have to admit, that's quite a surprise. I wasn't expecting that paper to be anything like as good. This is the specialist paper from last week, which is lovely. It's very nice feel, it's got a good weight and everything else. The Basildon Bond is quite a bit smoother. It's very nicely presented. I will not have problems using this. I'm going to be buying several of the B6 notepads just to take in my writing cases. But I have to admit, this Three Candlesticks paper is just stunning. Really, really good. It works superbly well. There's absolutely no bleeding, no feathering, nothing. The shadowing is minimal, bearing in mind the colour of the inks I've been using. It's a really nice weight. It has a certain amount of texture. It's, I think, perfect. I'm going to be buying some more of this as well. Now, this is an interesting little end piece for you. I've been looking at different types of writing paper because I like writing. And a friend of mine here on YouTube, Richard Barnes, suggested why don't I think about a sort of pen pals club for people who like writing, who like genuine correspondence, writing bits of paper that you can keep hold of afterwards. And I thought that's a really interesting idea. It's also a slightly daunting one because it will no doubt mean a lot more writing. It's also daunting because it'll cost me money. Now, this year in particular, incomes have been hurt. I know my own income has fallen by about 50 to 55% because of COVID, because I can't go out and give talks and so on. So if I received 100 letters from the States, Australia and New Zealand, I wouldn't be able to buy stamps to return letters to them. So this is something I would have to consider trying to figure out a fee for, or some means of monetizing things so that it's not going to put me too much out of pocket. However, would you be interested in a pen pals club based on writerly witterings? It's an interesting idea, isn't it? If this is something that you could be interested in, please let me know. Comment in the bottom or go to my website, michaeljex.co.uk, where you'll see a link saying contact the author. You can do that, and depending on the number of responses I get, I'll see what I can do about it. But I think this could be quite an interesting project. What do you think? Okay, thanks a lot for that. If you found this interesting, don't forget you can support the channel by going down to the Patreon or the PayPal link at the bottom. Apart from that, like it, share it, all those things. Hit the notification button if you haven't done it already. That way you're told when a new video comes out. And I'll be around in another week's time with a different type of pen. One that I've used fairly extensively and it's fun. So I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.